The administrative profession holds both routine and unexpected demands throughout each day. Due to each role being unique, much like your thumbprint, there's no manual that makes it black and white or a no brainer. However, having transitioned from the profession myself turned specialized headhunter, I've been blessed with over 2,500 one on one connections with admins living this profession each day. They've shared with me remedies, ideas, and hilarious moments which could help others transition from, and I air quote, the word island, in which we feel and see ourselves living, to a place of community. Each PS episode, of which I'll let you know, PS stands for permission slip, not postscript. These episodes will deliver thought provoking moments to help you navigate your admin world. Let's get to today's topic. Welcome, everyone, to a fun topic. I know it gets a lot of circulation online and in conversations, and so I was inspired while creating the WTF episode live while recording about this topic and bringing it to the microphone for your ears for your career. Quite honestly, also your tribe and your community, and you and feeling and having a sense of fulfillment with just the people you're interacting with. So the topic today is network. And when I think about networking, it is frightening for a lot of people. Extroverts might do it a little bit better than the introverts. When it comes to networking, we're afraid we don't know what they're going to ask. Are we going to be able to speak intelligently? Are we going to be able to, carry on a conversation? Are we in depth enough? Am I going to be interesting? Is someone going to like me? And yes, there's a bit of a rabbit hole of words and thoughts and concerns that show up. So I'm coming to you on Sunday, July 19th, 2020, to record this because I'm excited about putting this information and inspiration out into the ears of the professionals that listen to this podcast and just give you some things to think about, right? A lot of individuals in the administrative profession can work very quickly. And we forget that in a variety of areas in our life, we can be methodical. And so the permission slip here is to be thoughtful about how you want to network, be inspired with just some small but long-term impactful ways of doing networking. In the midst of the year 2020, as I've said before, it's an impressive year. So much going on, and with a lot, this is your advantage, with a lot of communication happening digitally, you almost have a universal out there professional permission slip to, hey, connect with me digitally, versus having to wait for an event or wait for someone to make the introduction. So here are the few things, and I'm going to start with some stuff to think about as you frame your strategy that will always be in draft form. It will never be final. Things within it might be final, things may be what produce results for you, but it's always in draft form, especially as we evolve, both as a world and as a humanity. First rule, it takes time. Which, as I mentioned in the WTF episode, if you guys haven't listened to that, you'll really like it. A lot of different things come up there. You should be planning 6 months before you're ready to start searching. And I'm also one that doesn't care for putting time frames on things. So pick whatever month or days or weeks that fits for you if you have that flexibility. Start designing a plan before you have to panic. And I say that because building relationships takes time. And so how do we sort of jump ahead and quickly, in an authentic fashion, build trust with someone and a relationship with someone to help us job search, to help us get a resource that we need? And so here's the things I've thought about that would be valuable for you, leveraging the digital environment that we have with LinkedIn, asking people that you might interact with, other assistants, to give you introductions to certain people. And so here we go. On LinkedIn, sometimes you guys see an acronym that is the word LION, LION, LinkedIn Open Networker. If you have that somewhere within your opening summary or with your title, you've given off the impression that you want people to know they can reach out to you and make a connection with you. I think that there is
good to that. I also think that that does welcome some noise. So I reserve promoting that 100%, but I bring it up just to inform you guys what that means. If you see it with other people, if you believe you want to test run that out to see what happens and who just winds up sending you information. I know that there's been talk recently about shifting from the word connect to follow. That actually limits you from being able to make the personal choice. If someone sent you connection request, deny it. I'm denying connection requests from people who clearly are not on LinkedIn for the right reason. So you have permission to take control of your network. So that lion phrase, it's used. I actually decided in prepping some handwritten information here, why not create a hashtag, which I will now try to throw into the community, EA Community Builder as a hashtag that you use in your bio, that if someone's just sort of looking for other people in a profession or at a company and they see that you have that, you're telling them that you want to build a community with other EAs, other administrative individuals. So that could be a way to prompt in a very soft manner, not loudly spoken, hey, I'm here to connect with other people like me. So announcing on LinkedIn that you are open to networking. Someone connects with you, or on the reverse, you want to connect with them. How great would it be if that sort of permission slip was there for you to know that, hey, this woman, Hilani, will connect, which, by the way, all of the EAs, and I love connecting with all of you guys. So if you aren't following me yet or connected, please connect with me. There's also a business page, Exceptional Admins, a wealth of information that's constantly put out into the community. For those networking parts, so we get the connection request, someone accepts, and you want to kind of send something like, hey, thanks for the connection. You have unfortunately lost a really beautiful opportunity to start that trust building component. And so we're not asking for someone's time. Yes, we can add additional vocabulary that says, thank you for the connection request. I love to connect with other EAs. I think that's great. That's the first starting point. You could wait a few days and circle back and say, hey, I see where you've worked before. I'm interested in the energy space. Would you be open to a 15-minute call with me to educate me on your wisdom of your career? I know deep in my heart, with all the thousands of calls I've had, we love to feed into other admins. And to find 15 minutes is really easy. And if they genuinely want to be connected and help, we're here as helpers all day long in our job. You have opened up them to say, yeah, I'd like to actually do that. Connection points made. Now, for you, when you're reaching out to people, and that may be uncomfortable to ask for someone's time, I inspire often, have something in your back pocket that's always your go-to that makes you feel alive and passionate. Most of the time it's an article. If you send, thank you for this connection, I'm looking forward to getting acquainted and, following each other's interactions. Hey, by the way, there's this article I love to share with other assistants. Here's a link to it. Pass it on. You've invested in them, you've shared information with them, and you've maybe brought something forward to them that they know of another. The ripples are just beautiful, by the way, when this happens, right? That someone had an article and they're like, wow, how serendipitous. This woman, Julie, I just connected with this morning, Sarah, had the article for that topic we were talking about last week. We genuinely have no idea how amazing common conversations are happening, and you could have had that moment. Then this person responds back to you and says, hey, thanks for the article. I found it valuable. I shared it with my friend Sarah. Thanks for the connection. You've made an intimate connection versus a connection on the surface because you have something that is your go-to that other EAs will enjoy. And first off, hands down, anything Devil Wears Prada for the admin profession, a high population of us love it. I've started creating some fun memes for that and use it on both LinkedIn and Instagram, sharing and say, hey, I hope this makes your day. Or here's a really great quote that I like. Is there one that you like? And I know too, just to pause, but it's relevant for this point of connection. It's hard to know when you're doing this if you've caught someone at a good time. Traditionally, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and Friday morning are high traffic times for people to really be connecting in their messages for LinkedIn. So think about that and how you can put into someone in a profession that loves it like you a sense of laughter, whether it's a meme or a sense of inspiration from an article. And that is the way that you start to build. After about maybe 4 or 5 interaction touch points, you've made a connection with them. Yes, I'm going to say it right here. Take that risk. Hey, Julie, it's been really nice chatting with you here. I'd like to ask for 15 minutes of your time. Can we have a call? I'd like to talk about A and B. Make sure you tell them what you want to talk about, because someone's going to be like, well, what do we want to talk about? How long is it going to be? Is it really 15 minutes? Does she want a half hour? Are we going to talk about politics? Dear God, no, kind of thing. So that would be really great for you to be able to start networking and building relationships. For some of you that are a little bit more brave than others, write an article on LinkedIn. And it could be short. Write an article for an achievement that you had, which this is great too. If you're forecasting in the next 6 months, you're going to be looking for something new. Write an article of an achievement that inspires other assistants who may cross paths with that article, or that you can share it to where you're putting yourself out there and you're sharing parts of your career because you're proud, and you should be, in an article for anyone to be able to read. And I know that makes you nervous, you guys, but listen, it can be brief. Doesn't have to be a long-winded Simon Sinek type of article that just really throws people out of their chair of excitement. It's okay if it's brief. We've got some really great admin bloggers. We've got people who do vlogging, other podcasts for admins. We're getting out there, and you should be inspired to do that as well. So write an article of an accomplishment. Maybe you want to talk about how you showed up wonderfully during the pandemic of 2020, and this was the top advice your executive really liked. Hey, assistants, maybe this will help you too. Right? Again, being of service for our community. We're not just of service for our executive, we're of service for our community. So, and then this is an obvious, which is why I've left it for the end. Anyone that you've interacted with that is in other departments, their network is different than yours. Maybe someone in marketing. Hey, Sarah, I'm starting to expand my network. Do you think there's anyone in your community or your network that's kind of similar to me that I can just kind of hey, what's it like over there in that tech company? We're in healthcare. And I can guarantee that they know people who obviously start with someone that's a trusted relationship in the company versus a stranger. That might just take longer. And they might know someone, they're like, I've got the perfect person for you. You took the most perfect little risk to be able to share a need and an ask, and someone got to help you. Genuinely, human society wants to help and be with people, feel connected. So you've actually just made their day because they get to exercise creating connectivity amongst humans. So I'm really hoping some of these things worked for you, inspired you. And one final thought. A large replacement of the word time for me at the end of 2019 was, where am I spending my time? Was no longer how I phrased it. It was, where am I putting my energy? Which obviously is connected to time. So when you're thinking about designing a plan and having scenario 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to test it out, really think about the energy. And it's okay to overexhaust energy, because that's when we learn, and that's when we simplify and create a positive return, because we've tried a lot of options. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you listening, and I look forward to connecting with you guys soon.
Thanks for sharing a little bit of your time with me and allowing me the opportunity to inspire you. My intention with the PS episodes are for you to rediscover why you're in this profession and continue to love it. Have a great day.